Okay, we finally got the Dakota frame that we're putting the Studebaker truck on back from sandblasting. Took us a while to actually find someone that would do it, and this guy did a pretty good job. So today we got to clean that off. That's been welded. Same with on the other side. That's remnants of the old cab mount and box mount. And then I'm pretty sure 100% that's got to come off. I believe that's just for 4-cylinder engines. So we're going to cut that off too, and then start. We just decided to brush paint it with Pour 15. So it's a little easier on my lungs than spraying it, so that's what we're gonna do. But I'm gonna get rid of that crap first. But otherwise, came back, no holes, which was good because this was all like major scale here. No holes, no cracks that we found. Suspension, we're gonna be replacing the springs, shocks, and probably the calipers anyways, so that's not an issue. And we'll take all these out, replace all the bushings, so all the sand in there, that's not an issue. So it'll be stripped down, new bushings in the back too. So. But yeah, Derek's gonna start grinding away at the welds. They're welded all the way around. Pain in the butt.
And I'm not cutting really into the frame.
Nope. Looks good. We'll just continue doing that. I won't show you that, but that's pretty. Do that to that. Finish that side. Chisel cut, and grind it smooth. Okay, so we've ground down all the mounts. That's where the rear cab mount or the box mount was. I think it's the cab mount. That's all ground down. There was the front. And that's where that was. That was the 4-cylinder engine mount. Now it's all nicely cleaned. And we're gonna use Pour 15 on it, just brush it on. We've done that in the past and it works great. Prevents it from rusting. It's all we're worried about. And I'm pretty sure you don't want to see paint dry, so next time you'll see this, it'll be all black. Okay, a couple hours later, and we got a nicely shiny black paint. It's even dry. Didn't paint the control arms because those have to come off anyways. But yeah, everything's painted, top, bottom, inside. Not the rear axle. Because we just decided we probably won't be using this axle because it's a 7 1/4 inch little dinky one, and from what we've read, it probably won't hold up to a V8 for that very long, even though it's not going to be a race truck or anything like that. But we're gonna see if we can find a bigger one, an 8 1/4 probably. We're not going to be able to find a 8 3/4 to put it in here, but or might go to an 8.8 out of a exploder. That's our plan right now. And we've got access to both, so just we don't want disc brakes probably on the back. Okay, it's been a week since we've worked on it. Had to work on other projects, but we're just getting ready to pull the cab off of the old frame. We're just using it. It's just nothing bolted. It's already been pulled off. You've already seen that. We're just using a 2x6 and a 2x4 put together, just sitting there, just to spread the weight a bit. And once we lift this up, then we're going to push the frame out, and the other frame is the Dakota frame is going to come underneath it, and we'll put it on, and we'll cut these off, these cab mounts, and then we'll see. We'll probably end up just tacking them on the Dakota frame and something in the back, just to get it roughly where it's supposed to go, because we have to basically put the front end on, put the box end on, back and forth, and that's going to take a little while. So, and a lot of measurements. That should be as high as I'm going.
All right.
Gooey cab. Almost there. Okay, so we got the new Dakota frame underneath it, just hanging there. What we're planning to do, Derek's gonna cut off the old front mounts. We're gonna reuse these, but they're bolted here, but then they plated the frame, so we can't get out the bolt heads. And we tried, we just loosened them. There's nut and bolt on the other side, so he's just gonna have to cut the heads off. Not a big deal. So while he's doing that, what we're gonna do first is take the fender, measure from the center of the wheel back to where it's supposed to mount here, roughly. Figure out that'll give us a rough estimate of where the cab mounts here. This is the under here. There's a hole right here. That's where the cab mount, the original cab mount, fits. So it's going to be, this piece here is going to be over, sitting right in here somewhere. We just got to figure out where, front and back. Then we'll start mocking the fender up a little bit, and possibly the bed, because we got to figure out height for the bed, height for the cab, height for the front end. These will be lopped off. They might even be lopped off there. We're not sure. But let's just start with the cab and go from there.
I tried.
That one's almost, yeah, it's just sitting there. Oh. I got it. Got it. Yeah, my guess is it's going to be something looking like that. If we put it down there, I think the cab will be too low. The bed will be sticking up in the air. So we'll probably go there, and we'll have to make a little bracket with a gusset. That's easy to do, but we just don't want to tack that, because then we'll have to move it there. May even have to be tacked like that. Who knows? Because I think there's a half an inch or an inch difference in width of where these were. But also, actually, we can just, it has two different holes here. We can use the inside hole or the outside hole. And for the back here, there's just a mounting hole there and there. So we have the original cross piece for the bed that went, it was bolted here, went up and over. So we figure we'll just move that forward for the cab, use that. Might work out pretty handy. And once he gets that done, then we'll do some quick measurement with the front fender. As I said, we'll measure from the fender to the edge of the fender, and then that will give us a rough guess of where basically this point of the cab is going to sit on the frame. Well, it's been a long time and we've been slacking, but it's time to get shit done. Okay, little bit of progress. We've lowered the cab down. What we did is took measurements on the old fender from the center of the fender wheel opening to this, and then measured back to where the bowl holes go underneath. And then we took that measurement to this frame and went from the center line here back, and we got a line, well, a little orange mark there. We duplicated that on the other side. That'll give us that gave us a ballpark figure of where this mount should be. So then we placed the cab down, got it fairly level between this side and that side, and fairly straight for now. We don't know the height yet, if that's correct. We got a 4x4 under there now, and the back, Derek just put 2 clamps on either side. That's holding the back up. This was one of the original bed mounts on the original truck, or on the Dakota. Actually, that was the original bed mount. So we're using it as a cab mount. Derek's just taking some pressure off just to see. But then, yeah, we still don't know the height if we're good, but that's gonna go. We have to lop off the end of that, but if everything's correct, it should go there, but in more. We just have, it's rubbing there, so we have to cut that short. But that, for right now, we're gonna leave that, the cab. Then we'll either put the bed on or a front fender and see how the angle of the cab is. So we don't know if it's angled too much or if it's too low, too high, but I think probably maybe put the bed on, because that's gonna, we don't want to lose too much of the bed floor height with this kick up. I know we've read we lose about an inch here into the bed, so we want to keep it roughly there. Okay, so we've got the box on relatively. It's still got to move. But that gap we know of, and right now it's a little bit wider here and narrower there, so we're thinking that it looks like the cab might be a little tilted too much, so we're going to lower the back of the cab just to straighten out that, to bring the box forward, because judging by the wheel well, the box could come forward about an inch. So right now it's hitting, so we're gonna eventually notch out that to bring the box forward to closing up that gap. But it's looking like a truck. So we want to try and get this relatively right there. So we thought, well, we could lower the box down, but then that would lower it down there, and we would have to lower the whole cab. And if we lower the box, then this gap, we've already had a good 2 inches from here to here, so we don't want to get any more. We're good with 2 inches. Derek's just, we're gonna jack the back end of the cab up just to get our clamps off, and then lower it, and then clamp it back together and see what we have going. And basically, yeah, this is all just rough. Then once we get that gap good, then we're gonna see about mocking up the front fender, and if that goes well, we'll basically try and permanently keep the cab there and move things around to make things fit. It's hard to get on that side, but
We're in the ballpark.
yeah. Okay, Derek, we lowered this a bit. It's still a gap here because we have to bring the bed forward, as I said before, but it's actually a fairly even gap. It's within 1/8 of an inch, which is acceptable right now, as of right now, because we still have to cut the frame rails there. We can shim up the back if we need to make that angle better. We can shim the cab with washers once we make the mounts, so that's not an issue. So now I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this fender and sort of mock it up. We have to cut out for around here because the inner fender hits it, and here we may have to lop off that. So we're just going to mock that up now that we have the cabin bed roughly where we want it. We're not making this a low rider, so, and I know the big wheel opening in the back, but that's the way these trucks are. Gonna almost be a daily driver. We'll work on the front fender, and as I said, yeah, this is decent. If you look from the back here, it's slightly crooked to the cab, but we don't, the cab can be shimmed. We're just have the back of the box on stands right now, so that could be off, so that's not important right now. So we'll work on the front. Okay, a couple hours later, and we've got a crusty fender mocked up. Now it may look like there's a big wheel opening, but that's a small 14-inch tire, and there's no motor in it, so it's going to come down and we can adjust things. But we've notched out around there. We'll have to do some more. This is just for mocking up and test fitting. Then we've also we marked off where we're going to cut the frame horns off. Derek's going to do that right now because we don't need. Have to pull the fender off, or
Yeah.
yeah, he's got a clamp there, and we got one loose bolt.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if we can.
Oh yeah, just do
Oh
that.
yeah.
Correct.
I'll just hold it. Clamp the spark button. There. One frame horn off. And we're thinking that that should be good because our rad cradle here is going to bolt up right here. So we just have to, if this is sitting relatively where we are, we'll just, instead of notching the frame for the rad show, we'll just notch this out, drill a new hole there for a mount, get rid of that one, and we're good. And we duplicated our marks there by measuring off the front, so that's going to be correct. We're going to have to notch more of this off, but for now we're just leaving it like that. We thought about trying to fix that, but then yeah, it's a 14-inch, small 14-inch tire. There's no motor and transmission, so the front end's going to drop with a motor a couple inches. We're going to be putting 15-inch tires on it. We mocked up a 15-inch 235 tire, and it's much bigger. And if we calculated a 2-inch drop from the motor, it's about an inch from the top of the lift, or maybe a little less of the fender. Because otherwise, to lower it, we have two options: either lower the cab, then we have to lower the bed, and then cut more out of the fender. Or if we need to actually lower it, we'll just get lowering springs or cut a coil off, which I think that's going to be the plan if we need to. So yeah, going along great actually. Derek's just going to lop off the other side.
I think I had a bigger hole on that side. Okay.
It was rusty.
Okay.
We had that big rust hole.
Okay.
We can pull the box back if we need to.
Okay. I think, well, I'm just marking my lines.
Okay.
They're about the same on both sides, so.
Okay. So we're just notching the frame so this part of the bed can go forward, and then we can tuck it up closer to the front.
Food I can do.
A little difficult with just the two of us. We can block up the front and lower the back.
I'm gonna keep go like that.
Oh, okay. Put it on the jack stands.
Yeah, that worked.
Okay. Took the jack out. And now we got a decent gap. We still have shimming to do, but now we're just making sure we can push the box forward.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's right there.
Okay. Oh yeah. I'll pull it back.
Yeah, we might need a little bit more gap. That's probably good, right?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
That's a decent gap. And now the rear tires are more in the center. We have to just shim that side of the box up a bit
Oh yeah.
because our 4x4 came out, but that is what we're going to be losing for box height. Here it doesn't matter, it's just that's a pain, but we'll just bring it up to there, just enough to get over there. Looks better.
Back there is pretty centered.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to modify the frame on this thing, shorten it. It's coming together quite nicely. But now with these notches and the bed sitting there, now we can just wheel the thing around without having jacks or jack stands underneath it. Studebaker, the car of the future. I think that's what their slogan was. I guess this is the truck of the future. It's hard to get a good shot, but with all our crap in the way. But I think it's looking mighty fine for a day's work. I think we're gonna probably leave this video right here, and I'm not sure what we're gonna be doing on the next video, but we basically welding up the mounts, cab mounts, and making box mounts, making fender mounts, rod cradle. We notched out the rod cradle, so will work. Yeah, and modifying these, we just got a nice grasshopper just jumped on me. Just have to lop those off a little bit, drill another hole. That's no problem. Get off for me, grasshopper. But yeah, if you like this, there'll be more. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you in hopefully less than a week on this.